Praise Yah. May the Ruach HaKodesh lead you into all truth and show you things to come, to the glory of Yahuwah, and may the seed of the word be planted in your heart to bring forth the fruit of righteousness. Let's get into it, family, in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. Amanah.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Fair use.
O Yahweh, open up you my lips, and let my mouth show forth your praise. Kuma, Yahweh, Wayaputso o Yaveka, Wayanusa Misanecha Mikanecha. Kuma, Yahweh, Wayaputso o Yaveka, Wayanusa Misanecha Mikanecha. Arise of you, O Yahweh. Let your enemies be scattered, and let those that hate thee flee from before thee. Let all of Yasharah, Yisrael, who love, worship, and praise Yahweh, give him thanks by saying Hallelujah.
Family, welcome back to Into All Truth. Sorry, I took some time off. I've just had a really bad cold and been working very hard on other stuff. But welcome to Into All Truth. And I just wanted to do a video to assure people about the signs and the things that will happen in the end times, to let you know that Yah's wrath and judgment are coming, and Israel will rise up with strength, and everyone will see the light of Israel's rising. And as Israel crosses over, the mystery of Yahuwah will be finished, and that's when the seven thunders will sound. So that is when the vow, the oath, will be complete, and Israel will cross back into their own land. And so I'm just going to read you some scriptures. I've done a couple of teachings on this before, but we all need reminders because there's so much in the word. And so let's get into it. So the salvation of Israel. Enoch 51 says, "And in those days shall the earth also give back that which has been entrusted to it, and Sheol also shall give back that which it has received, and hell shall give back that which it owes." And Ecclesiastes says, "What will be has been, and Yahuwah requires that which is past." And so we are around the time when the four angels bound in the great river Euphrates will be released again. And this, of course, is tied into Yahuwah smiting the seven streams in Isaiah and Israel crossing over. And this will be after Israel and Judah are lit up with a great bow and a giant sword to avenge themselves against their enemies. And what had happened in the past was that in Enoch chapter 56, Enoch says, "I saw there the great hosts of the angels of punishment going, and they held scourges and chains of iron and bronze. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, to whom are these who hold the scourges going? And he said unto me, to their elect and beloved ones, that they may be cast into the chasm of the abyss of the valley, in brackets, dry bones. And then that valley should be filled with their elect and beloved, and the days of their lives shall be at an end, and the days of their leading astray shall not thenceforward be reckoned. And so now is the time of the dry bones rising. And so I want to read Psalm 118 to just affirm the timing of these wars and all the events that will happen and the rise of the dry bones and Israel on this side, all those signs that we should look for. And it is Yahuwah coming with fire and brimstone. And this is what the enemy is going to try to imitate. And that's why it's important to discern these fine differences. Psalm 118, a psalm of David, the servant of Yahuwah, who spoke unto Yahuwah the words of this song in the day Yahuwah delivered him out of the hand of his enemies and from the hand of Shaul. And he said, I will love thee, O Yahuwah, my strength. Yahuwah is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. My Elohim, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation and my high tower. I will call upon Yahuwah, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. So here, this is the picture I already read from Enoch. This is a picture of Israel in captivity in the West. In my distress, I called upon Yahuwah and cried unto my Elohim. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him even to his ears. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken, because he was wroth. And there went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. And he bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness was under his feet. He rode upon a cherub, and did fly, yea, he did fly upon the wings of the wind. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of skies. At the brightness that was before him, thick clouds passed, hailstones and coals of fire. Yea, he sent out his arrows and scattered them. He shot out the lightnings and discomfited them. When the channels of waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Yahweh, at the blast of the breath of thy nostrils. You see, Yahuwah will utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian or Atlantic Sea, and with a mighty wind he shall shake his hand over the river and smite the seven streams and make men go over dry shod. That's the seven Gulf streams, just as he did in Exodus 15, the Psalm of Moses. So again, Isaiah 11:11 says, Yahuwah shall set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people who shall be left from Assyria, Egypt, Pathros, Cush, Elam, Shinar, Hamath, and the islands of the sea. Canada and the United States are islands. So is the West Indies. This is why Yahuwah says, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahuwah have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahuwah, the vengeance of his temple, and his people are his temple. He sent from above, as when he gathers with his angels, right? He took me. He drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy and from them which hated me,
for they were too strong for me. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but Yahuwah was my stay. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. Yahuwah rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands hath he recompensed me. For I have kept the ways of Yahuwah and not wickedly departed from my Elohim. For all his judgments were before me, and I did not put away his statutes from me. I was also upright before him, and kept myself from mine iniquity. Therefore hath Yahuwah recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his eyesight. You see, according to Yahuwah's word, he says no sin will be found in Israel. And notice also there is all this fire and brimstone, because this is what corresponds to the books of Revelation being opened. For with the merciful thou wilt show thyself merciful, and with an upright man thou wilt show thyself upright. With the pure thou wilt show thyself pure, and with the forward thou wilt show thyself forward. For thou wilt save the afflicted people, but wilt bring down high looks. For thou wilt light my candle. Yahuwah my Elohim will enlighten my darkness. For by thee have I run through a troop, and by my Elohim have I leapt over a wall. You see, Yahuwah is a rock, and we see this many times throughout Scripture. As for Elohim, his way is perfect, and the word of Yahuwah is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him. For who is Elohim save Yahuwah? Or who is a rock save our Elohim? It is Elohim that girdeth me with strength and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and setteth me upon my high places. So this is the call of Solomon and Yahuwah to the bride, to be like a young roe on the mountains. He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken in mine arms. You see, just as Dawid was, Ephraim and Yehuda will be like a giant sword when the other nations come against Babylon. And the trigger again is brimstone and fire. Thou hast given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness has made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. I have pursued my enemies and overtaken them, neither did I turn again till they were consumed. I have wounded them, that they are not able to rise. They are fallen under my feet. For thou hast girded me with strength unto the battle. Thou hast subdued under me those that rose up against me. Thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. They cried, but there was none to save them, even unto Yahuwah, but he answered them not. Then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I cast them out as dirt in the streets. Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people, and thou hast made me the head of the heathen, a people whom I have not known shall serve me. As soon as they hear of me, they shall obey me. The strangers shall submit themselves unto me. The strangers shall fade away and be afraid out of their close places. Yahuwah liveth, and blessed be my rock. And let the Elohim of my salvation be exalted. It is Elohim that avengeth me and subdueth the people under me. He delivereth me from mine enemies, yea, thou liftest me up above those that rise against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man, with the people under me. He delivereth me from mine enemies. Yea, thou liftest me up above those that rise against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man. Therefore will I give thanks unto thee, O Yahuwah, among the heathen, and sing praises unto thy name. Great deliverance giveth he to his king, and showeth mercy to his anointed, to David, and to his seed forevermore.
This is why the scripture said that Israel would fall by the edge of the sword and be led away captive into all nations and trodden down, Jerusalem trodden down of the Gentiles, till the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
This is the vengeance of the temple, who are the people. And this is why Isaiah 60 says, Arise, for thy light is come, and the glory of Yahuwah is risen upon thee. For behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But Yahuwah shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising.
And this is why Elohim will restore Israel. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that it shall no more be said, Yahuwah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But Yahuwah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. And so, how does this come about? When does the fire fall? As we read in this poem of David that prepares us for the actual moment when power will be shed abroad upon the sons of Yahuwah and the mystery of the sons of Yah be revealed. The brimstone and fire rise of the 144. And I heard and understood not. And then said I, O my Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, Go thy way, Daniel. The words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end, when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people. The time of the end is once Israel was completely scattered and enslaved into the four corners of the earth, which is where we are now. And it is the four beasts of the four nations prophesied to Daniel that accomplished this scattering. And these are the same four beasts in the great river Euphrates, the seven streams of the Atlantic. And so this is where we are, and this is the timing of the grand rising. Now the end of the whole world happens. Genesis 15 says, after 400 years, when the times of the Gentiles are at the full, when the iniquity of the Amorites is at the full, now Yah will judge that nation, Babylon. Esau, via the synagogue of Satan, is truly the ending of all worlds. But now, fortunately and unfortunately, as Babylon and Satan's realm falls, Jacob's world begins. So 4 horses and chariots scattered Israel. Now 4 horsemen shall judge the world and signal Israel's regathering, Yasharel's regathering. And the black horse is very significant at this time because it symbolizes Africa. And even the white horse symbolizes the quieting of the spirit of Yahuwah in the north and the west at this time. Now, we've already had the white horse ride. Please pause to read. I've done a lot of teachings on this, which originally came from Hebrew Nation Building, that the lollipop was the white horse, the bow with the toxin in it that was sent down to judge the earth. Obviously, the red horse is riding because all of those nations in Arabia and Palestine and Israel are all Japheth. They're all a lot of the same people group, and they are truly brother fighting brother, including Russia fighting with Ukraine and the West. Revelation chapter 6. Again, the white horse was the lollipop. The red horse is brothers killing brothers right now. And the dragons of Arabia are the black horse, clouds from the east, the four carpenters. But we're also dealing with the 7 nations and the 10 kings, right? BRICS. BRICS has 10 kings who are all at once the 4 carpenters. So this is a time of sifting. With the black horse, he protects the oil and the wine. And it is 3 measures of barley for 1 measure of wheat. All right. And Israel is the first fruits. They are the barley harvest at the time of Passover. The second wheat harvest is at Shavuot. So this is the harvest of Israel. So some of these keys in this chapter to the grand rise of the 144 are earthquakes, the sky rolling back, the sun turning black, earthquake again, fire, brimstone, plagues, war. These catalysts, the earthquakes and the skies rolling black and brimstone, reverse Pangea, these are all the moments when the 144 will be signaled with all of the remnant to rise. So in the 4th seal, in the white horse or the speckled horse, because we did the white, the red, and the black horse, now we're doing the 4th seal, the white speckled horse is the one that avenges in Babylon in the 4th part of the earth. North America, Brazil, Australia, likely Western Europe. This is the 4th part of the earth, the West. And we have in the 5th seal, a bunch of people are martyred during this avenging, all right, in the 5th seal. And then in the 6th seal, this will occur after all 4 horsemen have ridden. And this happens on the Babylon side. We're going to get more into detail in a second, but just know that Isaiah 13 and 8 is when Yah comes to judge Babylon. And there are 3 references to the destruction of Babylon while Israel is in captivity. And I'm going to read this last part because I'm going to read this again a little later, but I want you to remember it. So here in Revelation 6, all right, at the 6th seal, it says that there will be a great earthquake. Stars fall from heaven. So here's the falling stars. They're being cast down. And the heavens depart as a scroll. So the firmament is torn open and Yah shows his face. And so Revelation 6:11 says, and I beheld, and he opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became blood, and the stars of heaven fell to the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, as she was shaken of a mighty wind. Then all the wicked of the earth hid themselves in the dens of the rocks of the mountains, saying, the day of Yahuwah, Elohim, the day of Yahuwah has come. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled all together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. So this is how we are going to know the day of Yahuwah has arrived. The 6th seal, the stars cast down, the sky rolled back. And Isaiah 13:10 says, for the stars of heaven and constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And of course, he, Yahuwah, is going to be making the land desolate and destroying the sinners out of the land of Babylon at this time. And now remember, we already had the significant sign of the eclipse in 2017, which went through 7 cities of Shalom. 2017 eclipse, and then the 2024 eclipse, which went through several, a number of cities named Nineveh, the Assyrian cities marked for destruction by Yahweh, that Jonah, that is like Israel, who went 3 days into the belly of the beast, into death, Jonah was called to warn those cities of Nineveh. And that's where the eclipse went through. And the X was marked on the spot of Illinois, which used to be the Egyptian capital of USA, with more pyramids there and in Kentucky there than anywhere else in America. And of course, this is where there is a major fault line, actually a couple of them, where if there is an earthquake, this is where America will break apart. And underneath this place where the X of the eclipse marked the spot are these Egyptian pyramids. And you literally, I showed you in my eclipse video that they're made out of, they have hieroglyphs made out of hard soapstone rock, not the crusty clay molded ones over in fake Egypt, the real colony of the Egyptians in Africa. But no, these are hard rock carvings that are centuries, thousands of years, millenniums of years old. All right. So that was the X marks the spot place, another sign that we all well know of, that this was the time to conquer. That's the Roman sign for conquest, is the X. And of course, the X is the sign of the two sticks, the northern and southern kingdom, who are the two witnesses of the olive tree, who will come together at this time. The eclipse was the sign of the end times of the Gentiles, per Luke 21:24, the times of the Gentiles being fulfilled, and the iniquity of the Amorites being fulfilled, and the beginning of the times of Jacob's trouble, and the sign of the hope of the beginning of the world, which will follow the end of the world, which is Jacob's rise. Isaiah marked Yahuwah's time of making the land desolate through the speckled white horse and the sky rolling back. Now Revelation 7 is about the deliverance of Israel and their transformation into the 144 and their return to the land through a series of great earthquakes. So we get now into the numbering of the 144, and this is extremely important. We're about to get into that because it is prophetic. It is prophetic, and it can give you, brothers, all of the assurance that you need to have, all of Yasharel, that this is going to be the time of your rise and your fight. All right? It is literally in the names. Ezekiel 37:8 says, "And then I looked, and behold, lo, the sinews and flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. And then he said unto me, Prophesy to the wind, my son of man, and say to the wind, Thus saith Yahuwah, Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, Our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith Yahuwah, Behold, my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come out of your graves and bring you into the land of Yasharel. The word of Yahuwah came again to me, saying, Moreover, son of man, take thee a piece of wood and write upon it unto Yahuwah and the children of Israel, his companions. Take another piece of wood and write upon it unto Joseph, the tree of Ephraim, and to all the house of Yasharel, his companions. And thou shalt join the one to another into one tree, and they shall be as one in thine hand. When the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Thou shalt answer them, Thus saith Alua, Yahuwah, behold, I will take the tree of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and I will put with him even the tree of Yehudah, and make them one tree, and they shall be one in my hand. And the pieces of wood whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand in their sight. And say unto them, Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one people in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two peoples, neither be divided any more henceforth into two kingdoms. So this is pointing to the rising of this army for this departure. That is why I'm reading this, because I want you to see how it corresponds to the four winds in this section. So I want you to notice that the four carpenters are the winds of war, and so have been these whirlwinds, these clouds from the east. And so has been the terrible star of wrath that has been poured out. They are all functions of a wind stirring to breathe life back into the dry bones. And now we're going to look at Revelation 7, and we're going to see an inhale, literally. Revelation 7 and 1. And after these things, I saw four angels standing at the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living Elohim. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have what? Sealed the servants of our Elohim in their foreheads. So this is the 144. And so these are the 144 who will ride and die with Yahusha and resurrect after being defeated by Abaddon as the two witnesses. That's why I showed you those sequences of two witnesses in the prophets to Yahusha prophesying the end of times, because again, Israel is the two witnesses. And so here in verse 13 is a foreshadowing of their ascent to heaven, the 144. John the Revelator is suddenly in heaven after this. And this is what is said to him. He sees this vision. Verse 13. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes? And whence came they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of the great tribulation and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Okay, so this is the foreshadowing of their election. Now, they're not going to go through the great tribulation, but they will be in it, but they're not going to be suffering in it. Don't get that confused. That's a sidebar. They're not suffering in it, but they will come out. So now we are talking about the 144s rising in this great transition and battle stage we are entering into. Remember what I said. So wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. So this is in America, the nation of the eagle. Ha-Satan, we heard earlier, is the eagle who set up his nest among the stars. And even, the four carpenters, even Russia's symbol is the eagle right now. In this sign, conquer is the symbol of Rome. All right? So for wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. So here is the point again that we have to notice around the rising, Revelation 8. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the angels which stood before Elohim, and to them were given 7 trumpets. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer. And there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. And smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before Elohim out of the angel's hand. And the angel took the censer and filled it with the fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and what? An earthquake. Remember what we said about X marks the spot, fault line in Illinois. So the 7 streams have to be smitten so that Pangea can reverse and Israel can cross back, or any of the remnant. So thunderings, lightnings, and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. And the first angel sounded, and there followed what? Hail and fire mingled with blood. And they were cast upon the earth, and the third of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. So this earthquake time and the fire and the brimstone is the sign for the rising up of the 144,000. How do we know this? Matthew 24 and 27, for as lightning come out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so also the coming of the Son of Man shall be. So for wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. And immediately after the tribulation of those days, so that white horse tribulation that killed many, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Same thing as when the sky rolled back in Revelation, right? And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall the tribes of earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with great power and glory. So now Yahusha joins the battle with Michael to battle against Satan. When the 4 winds paused, and when there was silence in heaven about half an hour, that is when the breath of life, when the wrath and the fire and all of that dropped, is when the breath of the rising of the 144 comes into them, and they stand up, and Israel stands up to fight. How do we know? Let's go into the description of the names of the 144,000. I'm going to read you in the order of the names of the tribes, what their names translate to as the prophecy of the rise of the 144,000, starting with Judah, which means praise Yah or Yah's door. Reuben means behold a son. Gad means a troop that moves towards a door. Asher means happy, blessed, go forwards prosperously, advance. Naphtali means wrestle. Show yourself unsavory in the root words of Naphtali. Manasseh means forget, remove, or exact your troubles. All right, and the root word is Nasa. So those are the angels that rose up against Israel. So forget, remove, and exact regarding your troubles. Simeon, means hearken. The root word meaning Shema, to hear, declare, obey, and understand. So you're going to be proclaiming, and you're going to be listening to Yah. Next is Levi, which means to be led and joined to Yah, to cause to borrow as an obligation from every man his neighbor. Next is Issachar, which means he will bring a reward and a recompense. Next is Zebulun, which means exalted and honored, to dwell with and be enclosed by your husband, Ishi, Yahuwah. And Joseph means Yahuwah has doubled the blessing. He has increased again, return again, conceive again, gather together. And last of all, Benjamin means sons of the right hand of Yah and the seed of his thigh. So it's basically the 144,000 means praise Yah, behold a son, the son being born, who becomes a troop, who is happy and blessed to go forwards, ride prosperously, and advance, wrestling, showing yourself unsavory and being torturous, forgetting and removing and exacting the price of your troubles, hearkening to Yahuwah, hearing from him and obeying him as you do this, and proclaiming him as you do this. And as this great son advances forwards in this battle, he will be led to and joined to Yahuwah. And he will borrow from the nations the obligation due him from every man his neighbor. And he will bring the reward. And there will also be a recompense. And this son will be exalted and honored to dwell with Yahuwah, enclosed by him as his husband, because Yahuwah is doubling the blessing. You're returning again to the land, and you will conceive many sons again and be gathered together. For you are the son of Yahuwah's right hand, the seed of his thigh, and the son of Yah will be your helper. So this is your signal to rise, 144. And so, family, we know that the falling of the stars, the falling of the angels, is the time of the rising of Yasharel, as we see these signs. And even in Exodus 23:20, remember, what has happened before will happen again. Yahuwah says, behold, I am sending an angel before you to protect you along the way and bring you to the place I have prepared. Pay attention to him and listen to his voice. Shema. Do not defy him, for he will not forgive rebellion, since my name is in him. And so lastly, we have just before the return of Yahusha, it says in Isaiah 60, shine brightly because your light has arrived, and the glory of Yahuwah Elohim shall rise upon you, because behold, darkness covers the earth, a thick darkness, and the peoples, and Yahuwah Elohim shall rise upon you, and his glory shall appear upon you. And Micah 4:12 says, many nations will be gathered against thee, and they say, let her be defiled. Let our eye look upon Zion. But they know not the thoughts of Yahweh, neither understand they his counsel, for he shall gather them as sheaves to the floor. So sheaves into the floor means it's time for a harvest. The nations are gathered against thee, but he's going to gather them as sheaves to the floor. This is the time of harvest. When we see Yahweh separating the wheat from the tares, keep in mind this is wheat or corn. This is referring to the Gentiles who will be separated. Israel is always barley in Scripture. And if they are, or if you are Yasharel and remain a Gentile, then you are a tare if you do not choose Yahweh and Yasharel. You are not barley, you're not even wheat, you're a tare. Now, Dagon is the word used here in the Greek for corn or wheat. It also means fish. So this is Israel harvesting the fish, the Gentiles. Malachi 3:1 says, behold, I send forth my messenger, and he shall survey the way before me. And Yahuwah, whom you seek, shall suddenly come into his temple, even the angel of the covenant who you take pleasure in. Behold, he is coming, saith Yahuwah. And who will abide the day of his coming, or who will withstand at his appearing? For he is coming as in the fire of a furnace, and is in the herb of the fuller's soap. So this is when the 144 are ignited as a fire and flame to call fire down from heaven. And he shall sit to melt and purify, as it were silver and as it were gold. And he shall purify the sons of Levi and refine them as gold and silver. And they shall offer to Yahuwah an offering in righteousness. So those of us who are Levites, we're being refined by Yah, and you are our offering, Israel. And so we have to offer you an offering in righteousness. So we have to be righteous, and we have to present you as righteous, as teachers. And the sacrifice of Yehuda and Jerusalem shall be pleasing to Yahuwah according to the former days, according to the former years. And so I'm going to skip down to verse 10. The year is completed, and ye have brought in all the produce into the storehouses, but there shall be the plunder thereof in its house. Return now on this behalf, saith Yahuwah. See if I will not open to you the windows of heaven and pour out my blessing upon you until you are satisfied. And so this is about the crossing over and the ascent to the Mount of Olives, the mountain of Yahuwah by the 144 and Yasharel. This is the window of heaven that will be opened in this time after Yasharel and the 144 are ignited, after travailing in the darkness. All right. And so all these signs in the moon and the stars
says at this particular time that this star of wrath will be poured out, and that great and mighty cause shall be puffed up and full of wrath, and the star, and that they will make all the earth afraid and them that dwell therein, and they shall pour out on every high and eminent place a horrible star, fire, hail, flying swords, and many waters, and all the fields shall be full, and all the rivers with the abundance of great waters, and they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon and make her afraid, and they shall come to her and besiege her, and the star and all wrath they shall pour upon her, and then shall dust and smoke go up to heaven. All they that be about her shall bewail her.
Star of wrath that they're pouring out. And so that is one of the signs. And we will have these earthquakes. The sign of the stars falling. These are really angels falling. They're not just falling stars that are spending themselves. And so Ha-Satan casting down these stars and all these sightings of devils and angels right now is that time that we are in. We know that the Madrid fault line was where X marked the spot in the eclipse. And so we know this is the time of the conquering. All right. We know that the fall of fake Israel, the king of the West, will be a huge trigger in these times for the rise of Yasharel and the 144. That will be the catalyst for the four carpenters to come into America and for the internal rise of the rebellion from underneath. All right. And the earthquakes will be the sign that the highway back to Israel is opening up on the land again. Yah smiting the seven streams. All right. Because didn't the nations part the land of Israel? So now Yahuwah is going to come here and smite America and break it up and part it. And so when the sky rolls back and the angel of Yahuwah defeats Ha-Satan and the fire starts to fall and the earthquakes, and we will know that in the spirit that this is the moment to rise and fight. And so just to wrap up one more time, I'm going to quote the prophecy again of the one in the names of the tribes of the 144,000. So war and wrestling, like Jacob wrestled with the angel just before he returned to the promised land. And after he wrestled with the angel of Yahuwah went before him. Praise Yah, behold a son who is a troop, happy and blessed, riding forward prosperously. wrestling to forget, remove, and exact his troubles, hearkening and hearing from Yahuwah, being led and joined to Yah, to borrow from every man his neighbor, to bring a reward and recompense, so that he may be exalted and honored to dwell with Yah. For Yahuwah has doubled his blessing and caused him to return again, the son of Yah's right hand, the seed of Yasharel. The seven thunders response to the angel of Yahweh. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and the rainbow upon his head, and his face was as the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. And he had in his hand a little book open, and he put his right foot upon the sea, and his left on the earth, and cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth. And when he cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, but I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which the 7 thunders have spoken, and write them not. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lift up his hand to heaven, and swear by him that liveth forevermore, that time should be no more. But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, when he shall begin to blow the trumpet, even the mystery of Elohim shall be finished, as he hath declared to his servants, the prophets. This oath is explained in Isaiah 45 and 21 through 23. Tell ye and bring them near. Ye let them take counsel together. Who has declared this from ancient time? Who has told it from that time? Have not I, Yahuwah? There is no Elohim else besides me, a just Al and a Savior. There is none beside me. Look unto me, and be ye saved, all the ends of the earth. For I am Al, and there is no one else. I have sworn 7 oaths, Shabbat, by myself. The word is gone out of my mouth in righteousness, and shall not return, that unto me every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall swear 7 oaths. In Yahuwah shall the seed of Yasharel be justified. This is the promise and the oath. This is the point at which Israel is justified. Yahuwah's covenant oath is fulfilled, and the sons of Yahuwah are revealed. And that is why he utters 7 oaths, basically saying Israel is justified. And the veil and covering cast over all mankind has been removed and will have been removed at this moment. Thank you, everyone, for your donations and support. It means a lot. And subscribe or simply become a member into alltruth.net to get updates on videos. Subah Yahuwah Reb Aleph Yasharel. Subah Yahuwah Reb Aleph Yasharel. Return, O Yahuwah, to the countless thousands of Israel.
And let those that hate thee flee from before thee. Let all of Yasharah, Yisrael, who love, worship, and praise Yahweh, give him thanks by saying Hallelujah.